Hello, I'm Shauna. I'm passionate about pages and I'm here today to create another layout using the Kintsugi Imperfections paper pack. This is the fourth layout that I'm making from this pack. The first three layouts are part of an online workshop, and I'll link at the end of the video to the layout share where I showed you what I'd made in that one. For today, I'm focusing just on the papers. I haven't used any of the other things in the suite, and I'm bringing in once again some gold foil to add some highlights, some veins of gold. I've been saying about them, and this time I have used the piece of paper that's got the pots and the bowls and the flowers on it. It's the back of this cloud cover print to decorate it, because I didn't really have anything. I didn't want to go full floral with it, but I just thought, oh, these tie in nicely, and like this one dress that she rejected, I don't know why, ties in with it. So that was fun. So this was our first foray into finding a dress that she could wear for her wedding. She didn't know exactly what she wanted in terms of a dress to wear, and so I encouraged her to try on lots of different dresses. Sorry, don't you hate it? As soon as you start filming, you run out of tape runner. So the idea was, in this first foray into formal wear / bridal wear shops, the goal was to discover what she didn't like. Okay, and we certainly did that, and boy did we have a laugh finding that out. Now this was back at the beginning of 2020, just a couple of weeks after she got engaged. We at that time lived on opposite sides of Australia, and so our times that we would be together were limited, so we went off having a look, and what we didn't realize is that the wedding, which they had decided would be later that same year, would have to be cancelled because of COVID, postponed for a year, and that it would then have to be postponed for a year because of COVID the following year. And so, it was 2 years later that we got serious about the dress, and we looked at lots of different things. And the most interesting thing was that the dress we had seen, that I'm going to show you in a minute, ended up being the one that I used as my inspiration for the dress I made her, which was really cool. Now I've just added 12-inch strips from the gold foil on here, and you'll notice that it doesn't go all the way down. I've just used a repositionable tape, and there will be somewhere along this line where another element will interrupt that, and I'll be able to cut it and move that bit down. But for now, that bit's okay where that is. Now I wanted to bring in some of the peach colour from this paper pack, because I've actually finished the album of the actual wedding, and now I'm going back and scrapbooking some of the stories about the journey, because it was quite the journey. And her wedding album is all the way through is oranges and blues, and it just so happened that these, being the paler shades, worked well for the photos that I was going to be using. So I'm thinking that I will have two 2 panels. Just trying to decide. Yeah, no, I think I want that one there. 2 panels that on this side I could put the ones, look, I'm not trying to be mean if someone loves one of these, but these did not suit her figure or her personality, and so we had lots of fun with those. And then the one thing she knew that she definitely wanted in a dress was a low back, so we chose things that either had off the shoulder or low backs. And then this is the dress that we realized, well, this was the inspiration for the final dress. And at this stage she was wanting to get married in a ice blue wedding dress. Let me tell you, I don't know what color she had in her head, but it doesn't exist. She did end up getting married in a white dress, but this blue was fine. So now I'm just playing here to see where else I might put some of these little pops of gold, and I think that will look quite nice framing the peachy color, and I can do the same over here. But I don't like the way this is overlapping on that diagonal on both sides. So I think I'll tuck it under on this side, because this is where my journaling is going to go, but I don't mind it being out there. And then I think my photos need something behind them. Now, as I said, I'm using the leftovers from the other layouts that I had. So I don't have enough papers to mount all of these. I could go with cardstock, but I don't really want to go there. So I'm thinking maybe if I come in with this lighter blue and pop it under here somewhere, that could look quite nice. But my problem here is the print's going in the wrong way if I wanted to do the same there. So maybe not that one there. I like this better. The pattern sort of goes with the dresses better. I don't think I want it behind the full photos. Yeah, so if I leave a border of the peachy colour, I think it's called petal pink, around and trim this down, I think that will be nice. And then I need something to go behind these photos. So I have the piece of paper that's left over from here. Oh my goodness. Don't you love it when you have a win? And it is the right size. Oh yeah, I think that makes those photos, the dress, pop. All right, I'm going to go and stick all of this down and then show you how I'll embellish it. Alrighty, so now we've got all the photos stuck down. Oh, I forgot to put my gold on here. I'll do that before the final closing. Sorry, the cat knocked over a very beautiful piece of pottery that has been on display in our house for probably 2 decades. This is the grandbaby cat. So it interrupted my flow a little bit. All right, yes, so I will fix that up before and show you right at the end how that looks. That's annoying. All right, so here's what I wanted to bring in. Kintsugi is the art of repairing pottery with gold veins that comes from Japan. And so I thought, and this paper pack has a real Art Nouveau kind of feel for me with the patterns in it. So I thought I would quite like to bring in some of those triangular shapes that they use a lot in Art Nouveau. I literally just picked up some bits and kind of used my trimmer to make them slightly angled, not full solid rectangles, and then I glued the patterned paper on top of a piece of the gold and trimmed it with my trimmer so that it had an 1/8 of an inch border around it. And I chose to do it in these two, even though this is the same paper as I've got on my borders. The gold breaks it up. So I did that to all 4 pieces. This one, I wanted it to, dominate that top corner. I didn't want this one down right in the corner. And I knew I had quite a bit to tell for the story. So I've cut my journal box with the Spotlight on Nature dies. The embossed edge comes out really nicely on the gold foil, and I thought this pattern on this circle kind of picked up on some of the floral elements along there. Alrighty, now I've decided to use the vases and the bowls, even though that has nothing to do with weddings and dress shopping and sewing, but the colors all work, and it echoes some of the colors and textures in these dresses. Okay, so don't feel like you have to have photos of a meal or flowers, to use these. So what I'm going to do over here is just have a bit of an arrangement of those two and the bowl kind of coming down, and then I thought I would have this flower kind of falling off to the floor, and this one, I can't decide whether to have it coming out of the bowl or just, I think just on an angle from the bowl. And then here I ran into an issue. So this is Catherine's friend who came along with us that day, but unfortunately the expression on her face that was captured in this photo is not indicative of how animated and supportive she was through the day, and I couldn't crop her out without getting really close to the edge of the frock. So the next best thing is to just cover her up. And then by doing that, we eliminate that problem. And I think I'm going to echo this one and have that kind of just falling down as though it was a fallen leaf. And then those can go there, and the two little bowls here, and that one coming out of that bowl. Okay, there's one more thing. I actually had a photo that I printed which showed a fabric that Catherine quite liked the look of. Okay, it was like a beaded kind of fabric, a bit sparkly like this, that was our inspiration once we decided to go with white. And I'd printed it out the same size as these other ones, and I was hoping to put it there, but doesn't that look awful? So if that happens, have another run. And I printed it as a 3x4, and so it's a far nicer, the framing is far nicer. Here I think I was focusing on the material. Here, it's a more artistic shot, and I think nestling that in there and then just getting a couple of these gathered around the top of it will incorporate that, and I'm happy with that to finish off. So I am going to finish gluing, find my gold strips for here, and then give you some close-ups of what it looks like. And here we have it, finally. Goodness me. This one was tricky. I thought it was going to be really quick and easy. I finished it off with some low profile dots. They come in the gorgeous, the peachy colour and the gold, which worked beautifully. So here's a close-up of that banner at the top. I chose not to put like a title on this layout. It could have gone there, but I liked having that white space there. And this is just a rundown of those elements along the way. So I hope you liked that one. It's always trickier when you're using your scraps because you can't just cut into a full sheet of paper, and you have to work around some limitations. But I'm really happy with that, and the next layout that I'll do following on from this will talk about how we finally made the dress, and I drafted the pattern and all the things. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my style of scrapbooking, please subscribe to the channel so that you're notified each time I put a new video up. And I hope you have a wonderful day and you can squeeze in some creative time to play with paper. Bye for now.